We appreciate all of you guys. Well, one of the names that I believe we're both going to talk about, because we've been very high on him in just a few short days because of his usage rate, his, what's your term, declaration of influence that he has. I absolutely love that term, Cecil. And it's Evan Ingram, and Sean Payton talked about the progress from his new Joker toy.
Well, we're early. We're getting ready, we're heading into the preseason, but there is a vision we have for him. Certainly he can run. He's got really good receiving skill sets. He's got a good understanding of the passing game. I think the progress has been good.
Progress has been great, in my opinion. I think Sean's underselling it a little bit there, and that's probably by design. It's still early. He doesn't want anybody to get too excited about this player, but I feel like that's the guy you and I have talked about, not just on the air, but off the air when we're kind of just watching and observing during practice, and then certainly on Saturday as well.
Yes, I think you're already on that train. You're driving that train.
I am, dude.
I had to talk you down a little bit. Now I'm out here. I'm jumping on board. Can I get a ticket on the Evan Ingram train? And by the way, my projection of 69 catches and about 700 yards and 3-4 touchdowns, I stick by my story for now.
Look,
he keeps doing this.
The yardage and the catches is pretty damn good. I kind of looked at more touchdowns with Evan Ingram.
Right, and we'll see, and certainly Courtland Sutton's back. We can't reveal anything, but everybody knows he's an X. It was nice to see on the very first snap of a walkthrough, Court was back at his normal spot.
Yeah.
When we'd seen Courtland out there, he was not in his normal spot, and I was like, what are they doing? Well, he's back. He's signed, so he's back there. So we'll see Ingram, Sutton. You've got a lot of red zone targets out there. One of those running backs, both of those running backs are red zone targets for Bo Nix. And Zach did a great job yesterday. I urge everyone to go to our YouTube channel because I posted it as the Drives YouTube show yesterday in going over third down numbers.
Nice. Oh, I heard
Bo
that.
Nix.
That was great.
Yeah, so third downs, red zone, under pressure, those are the three stats those are the ones that matter for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Having a guy like Evan Ingram is going to help make Bo Nix better on third down, better in the red zone, better for the Broncos.
Quick shout-out to Zach By. We played a little golf last night right here at Family Sports, and it was great. Kristen Mackey set it all up. It was fun. Like, Anilo came. We had a little team action. I was on the same team as Zach and Kristen. I was absolutely terrible. And remember at the beginning of the year when I got super mad about playing bad golf?
Yeah.
I reverted back to that guy. And it didn't help at all. So
okay.
Shout out to those guys. Zach carried the work. Kristen made the game-winning putt. And we beat those fools by one stroke. So shout out to everybody for carrying my dead weight. Evan Ingram is one of those names. Another name that I guess we can call it like honorable mention because it's not like he's made these giant plays, but just kind of how he looks and how different it feels with him. I think we should give Troy Franklin a little bit of love here.
Wow,
he's
got to do that?
I mean, man, like I said, hate the hands, love the guy and what he can be, but he's starting to make me forget about the bad hands that he had a year ago. And see, I'm telling you, the strides, and I know most of it's against air right now, but if he and Bo can connect, and we've seen him talk away from the field several times, if they can start to connect on that chemistry, and what Bo's great at is putting a ball on a certain place to keep a guy in stride. If Troy Franklin has a half a yard of separation and Bo Nix puts it on the right shoulder, that thing's got the potential to be a house call every time he makes a catch.
Every single time. And that's the thing. It's his evens, he's leaving. That's what Troy Franklin, like those strides, I mean, he takes up so much yardage with one step because his strides are very large. Now, that means you can trip him up easier than those guys with the foot frequency like Marvin Mims, but still. He has a gait where he gets by you in the blink of an eye. So it can be over. And with Bo being able to place that, having that college chemistry coming through, it's nice to see based off of last year and the struggles of Troy Franklin, kind of the not necessarily overhype, but like he's his teammate and everyone's super excited. And then outside of the Buffalo game, the wild card round, he didn't do what he needed to do. Now he is showing signs of immense progress. And I think that's great news for Broncos country because I don't know about you, brother. I wasn't really counting on Troy Franklin this year.
You know how I felt about it. I had zero expectations.
But when we get excited, I picked 13 wins for this team. And it wasn't because I saw Troy Franklin doing more. I picked 13 wins because of Evan Ingram and J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. If Franklin's out there balling out as well, all of a sudden that's just icing on top of the icing on top of the cherry on top of the icing on the cake.
And then as far as the defensive side goes, I mean, it's really tough to find that. I thought maybe day one of pads yesterday we might learn a little bit more. They're still not going to hit towards the ground. There's going to be very, very limited reps of that. So it's tough to see, hey, who's standing out on the defensive side here. But obviously we know what they are with their cornerbacks, PS2, Riley Moss, and Jahdae Barron. That's something that stood out to me is how much, almost like Evan Ingram, how much a guy like Jahdae Barron's moving around. And then what I've noticed, Cecil, and I'm sure you have, is when Jahdae's walking back towards the huddle, it's very interesting for me to see the amount of times he's having a conversation with the wide receiver that he was just in coverage with.
Yep.
I like the fact that they're just having an open dialogue about what just happened on the play they just ran.
That just happened, and that's what they'll do, and that's where Barron, with that star ability, that's what he was at Texas. That's what he'll be for the Broncos. He's a rover, a joker, a star, whatever the name you want to call it, is that he's a movable chess piece that you can move around the formation, and he can be out there in multiple ways to help you. So he's going to pick everybody's brain, going to try to get up to speed as much as possible in the pro game. I know that some say this camp is boring. It's not. If you're saying it's boring, you're not paying attention. I know that some say, like, it's Moss versus Barron. Not really. I had text with Zach yesterday. He was sending me some of his notes, and thank you, Zach, for that. In that, hey, Moss is always on the outside. And I know that Sean Payton talked about it, I believe, yesterday, where he's like, Moss, he can move around too. No. Moss is always on the outside. Moss is your 2. Barron's your 3. Barron could be your 2. Moss inside, I'd have to see it before I really liked it. I mean, I like Jaquan McMillan inside. I like Chris Abrams-Drain inside. So I'd have to see it before, but we don't need to really discuss that, in my opinion. I think it's Riley Moss on the outside, and it's Barron just being that movable chess piece.
I read something this morning our boy Drew Spivak sent our way about Jaquan McMillan being the X factor for the Broncos to win a lot of games. And at first I was like, what? Hold on.
Wait,
Where'd
what?
you get that name from? And then I'm reading it. They're talking about how he can lock down, it's like in between hash marks and be kind of that inside, as you're talking about, third type of cornerback. And some of it made sense, but I'm like, well, I don't know if you know the Broncos.
Is he even better than Chris Abrams-Drain right now?
AD
is really good.
Chris has had a good camp so far.
Yes,
Again, it's very limited stuff, but I like what we've seen out of Chris
He's not
Abrams-Drain.
Chris Harris. He's not Chris Harris. Very few are. But Chris Abrams-Drain can play. So I like the idea of Jaquan, but I'm not sure about the accuracy of that report.
And look, I guess we weren't planning on talking about this, but I would say as somebody that I want to see improve is Devon Vele. I talked about the miscommunication stuff I saw yesterday. I just want to see him and Bo. They need to be better locked in together as far as what they're seeing, where they believe the coverage is coming from. I just don't like seeing the miscommunication between the two, and I've seen it a couple times out here.
Well, and the thing with Devon Vele that he's going to, I don't know, suffer from, or whatever the term I have to use, he was the stud of OTAs. Like the stud of OTAs. And then mandatory minicamp, he missed time. So I think it might have been a little bit of that overhype.
Yeah.
And you saw it coming out of OTAs, and people, were saying, like, oh, he's the story of OTAs. Devon Vele is here. All right, it's training. It's real now.
Yep.
It's real now.
Well, you just said something there, folks that claim this to be a boring training camp. I think they might not know what they're looking at.
Oh, not at all.
But I want to get into
I don't know
something
how to spell either.
that you and I said on Friday. I made the statement, and you said, oh, I really like that. This feels like Broncos again. I want to dive into a conversation to exactly what that means to each of us, and we'll do that next.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are